Shays Rebellion. Who is Shay? Daniel Shay is a revolutionary soldier who fought in a couple of battles during the Revolutionary War. Because he served his country, he was owed money by the state he was a citizen of. This was Massachusetts. Massachusetts owed him money and they never paid him. States had to pay their soldiers because under the Articles of Confederation, the states had more power. This included the power to tax, which meant that states were the ones being able to get money from the people and pay up the debt that they have accumulated. One of the debts was repaying their soldiers for their service. So, because Massachusetts was in debt, they started to tax their citizens. This led to Shay being in some debt that he could not pay off. Mad that he could not pay off this debt and at the verge of almost losing everything, him and some others rose up against the oppression and started a rebellion. These rebels were called the Shayites, and they were only 400 in the beginning. They were not only mad at the debt that they were in, but how the banks were treating them. Banks were foreclosing them without the possibility of being able to extend their payment days. Others were mad that they did not possess stable currency to trade with others, even to pay some of the debts of the courts. But above all, they were furious at the courts. They thought they were useless and that they were doing this to collect tax from the individual, which they were, so the state could pay off the debt that they were in due to the Revolutionary War. Once the federal government heard about this, they could do nothing. The federal government had no money or funding to send in troops to stop them, and Massachusetts was furious at this. Massachusetts was mad because the federal government should be the one responding to situations like this. Both the state and federal government, not knowing what to do, turned to private militias in the area to stop this rebellion. The thing was, none of the institutions had money to pay off the militia. When the militia heard that they wanted them to do this, they rejected and actually joined the Shayites. Running out of options, the government had to turn to the local merchants to hire a militia to stop the rebellion. This worked. The militia stopped on the Shayites, and all of them were put into jail for their actions. What's important about this? The end result of this rebellion is not important, but the awakening that it caused was. People in the government saw that changes were needed. The average person also wanted a change. Nobody wanted a useless government that could do nothing at the time of need. What if this was a foreign attack? What would we do to stop it? Hire a private militia, but with what money? Send in troops that we don't have? We would ultimately lose. No one wanted to lose the independence we had just fought for. This is where the awakening happens. This is where the realization that a new government had to be forged in order to protect the people. This rebellion is what caused the Constitution to be born, because it showed how weak the Articles really were and how badly a rework was needed.